Today I want to talk about seeing the possibilities. And I want to do that by telling you a story. You know, a few years ago, maybe more than a few years ago, I had this case. And it was a problem case because of the fact that my client, right, I'm a defense attorney, was caught and charged with attempted murder. And there was a knife used in the case because the person who charged, who ultimately the prosecution was protecting, was a person who was stabbed multiple times and was almost near death. And so my client was charged with attempted murder and had just purchased a home, had a lovely wife and daughter, and there was so much promise in his life. And he came to see me and he said, "Mr. Jackson, I am not guilty of this crime and I need your help." And I looked at the file and I said, I understand that, and perhaps I can work out a resolution that'll keep you out of jail for not as long as the prosecution wants you in there. And he said, "No, and this is a grown man crying. I didn't do this." And I said, "Well, that's strange because there's the DNA on the knife that I have, and they got it from your pocket. And there are 4 witnesses that said that you did it." And he said, "I did not do this." I look at the file and there was something strange. The first thing that was strange to me is that the 4 witnesses who were at this club were all known to each other. Now this was a problem because everybody was at that club, meaning there's 400 or 500 people. And the 4 people that picked my client out, they are all known to each other? But as I looked, and then we went ultimately to trial, and we found out during the course of trial that things were not as they appeared. I asked the first witness, "Did you see what happened?" "Yes, I saw exactly what happened." "Well, how long were you at the bar?" "I was there for 4 hours." "What were you doing?" "I had a beer or 2. "Was it a beer or 2? "Well, maybe 3 or 4. Well, when you have 4 beers, you might not be of the same perception as if you had none. And then, of course, the next person said, "Well, I didn't really see it, but my friend said he saw it, and I believe my friend." And then the next person said, "Well, he was by the knife. I didn't see him stab it, but he was right next to the knife, and so I'm assuming." You're assuming. So the witnesses were off the table. Now we're left with the DNA. The DNA on the knife. And you know what happened? There were 12 officers at the scene. But the officer who helped the victim, who was bleeding, onto the stretcher and into the ambulance, had touched the victim who was full of blood in an effort to save his life and get him where he needed to be. And after that, he runs over to my client. He pat frisks him after dealing with the victim, pulls the knife out of his pocket and looks at it. Guess what we have? We have an issue of contamination. And so ultimately he was declared not guilty. What's the message today? This is not about me, it's about the broader issues of seeing the possibility in everything. So many times we look and we say, "It's impossible, we can't do it, oh my goodness, it's rock solid, it's airtight." One of the things I have learned is that if you look hard enough, you'll get an answer. If you continue to look, you'll get multiple answers. And if you continue to look still, you will know that there are more than answers, there are tremendous possibilities. And so what I ask of you is to keep looking for those possibilities in your life that'll take you to where you need to be, want to be, and deserve to be. I believe in you. Do you believe in you? Go make it happen.